Hello, in this video I will show you how to make a node tool. This hammer scene doesn't actually have anything to do with it. I made it for the thumbnail and it took like 3 days, so I wanted to show it. And while we are here, I want to show now this add-on or this timelines group, which I really like to use when I animate stuff. It's from this add-on. I'll add the link in the comments if you like what you see. To the topic. You may have noticed that subdivision command in Blender doesn't have smooth mode, so everything you get is this. You can't get this like smooth or Clark surface. Why it matters is that sometimes when modeling, it's good way to increase your detail level or resolution to smooth subdividing your mesh, like from this to this. But if you use Subdivide command in Blender, you get this, which is not usually what you want because it's kind of faceted. This is the normal Subdivide command in Blender, and if we want the other one, we have to add subdivision modifier and then freeze it. Let's go to object mode. Now visual geometry to mesh. So now we get the smooth subdivision. We could write a script that does it for us, but I think it's simpler to use geometry nodes for it. So let's open geometry nodes editor. This one is from Better by menus and also the one I used here, the modifiers pop-up. It's a great add-on. I recommend all you to get it. The simplest way to create this is just go here, change this modifier to tool. Now we have tool, hit new, then we go here and add subdivision surface like here. Now we have it, and we have to check mode, edit mode. Okay, I think it should work. Let's rename it SudD node tool. Okay, now let's check if this works. Select the object, go to edit mode, and the tool is here, SudD node tool. Yes, it seems to work. Now we could add options for here, and we can set shortcut for it. Let's check how it works. Yes, the options work, but I like to do it usually a bit different way. Let's delete this. I will delete also this, and let's add a mesh, maybe monkey. Now we have monkey. I'll take everything out. Now we have only this. Let's open a new geometry nodes workspace. Let's change it to modifier. Now we have modifier, Susan, add a new one. Now we have our subdivision surface modifier. Okay, and let's create group. Now we have group for it, and let's go out of the group and rename it for SudD, something you can identify, and then go here and let's add it here. So we have the group here. So why did I do this? This is because if I want to test the tool, I can modify this group and I can see the result like straight away. If I didn't do this, I have to always run the tool, and it gets a bit tedious to run the tool every time you take change and check if it works. But this way you can make the change, see the results like real time, and your tool, at least in theory, it should work as the same way as the group does it with the mesh. So let's see if it's true what I said. I remove this and make the crease 1, so we can see the change there, and I add other monkey there, and then I test the node tool, SudD node tool, and it creases the edge. And if I set it to 0, and run the node tool. Okay, I have to select it and it's smooth. Instead of hardwiring the value or letting it be user controlled, we can use the actual attribute for it. So if I select this object and then I take the edge and use crease here. This is also better by menus. The add-on I recommend. So now I have crease edge there, but it doesn't do anything. It's because we have to assign it here. So we can see this is the attribute name for the crease edge, and add named attribute. Okay. Crease edge. This is a bit annoying always. I have to like this and link it here. Does it work? It's hard to see, but yes, it does crease the edge. So now we can again test it with here, but let's add some crease edges here too, like this, and then run the node tool. Yes, it creased the edges. That is the reason I want to have this group that I can use both in tool and in modifier. So when I make change to this group, I can see them right away in the modifier instead of running the tool every time. But anyways, I will add a hotkey to the tool. And what I notice is can't reach object mode for some reason, but let's do it in the edit mode. Go and remove shortcut. I have added something, assign shortcut Control D, and now let's check it if yeah, it works. So, and now we have these level settings also here, and corners and stuff like that. One thing I like to add to this tool or modifier is selection, but we don't have selection here, so we have to separate the geometry. Let's try it here, here, and let's input selection here. But I want to make this nodes a bit cleaner, so I may speed up this section. So now we have the selection, but it doesn't do anything. So let's go here. We have to get some criteria to select. I use attribute named attribute. So now we have a selection attribute, but if we connect it, it just removes everything. Because we have to assign the selection, so let's take this and grow. And as attribute add select the on face boolean add. Okay, let's see what happens now. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because we have to also set the selection. Now we have only the selected subdivide, but you see the obvious issue is that it deletes the other stuff. So we have to join these and get inverted here. So now we have this mesh where actually this way it breaks the mesh, which is not ideal. And also we have to make this one here face. So in this kind of situation it's not ideal as it breaks the mesh. But the reason I want to have selection is like if I have, let's say, two monkeys and this one has selection and this one doesn't. So if I have different mesh islands and I have to Subdivide only the other one, I can do it like this. To get the selection to work with the tool version, we have to add selection node. And this basically just tells what is selected in edit mode. So if we take this one, let's select half of the monkey, and yes, it subdivides only this selected. It works. Naturally, we want to use this tool in other scenes too, not only this one. For that, we have to first mark as asset. So now it's an asset, and then we can go to asset browser here and find it here, SudD. Now this is our tool, and let's move it to Node Tools. Here my tool catalog. Now it's in the correct catalog. We can find it here. So let's try it again. It works. But for now it works only in this scene or blend file, because the asset is not shared globally. To do that, we have to save it in a folder that is marked as an asset folder. If you don't have asset folders, you have to set one up. So we go to preferences, and there is file paths, and these are your asset folders. If there's nothing there, you can add your favorite folder there. So I have already my asset folders, so I can just save as, go my asset folder and save it as that, and then it should work in other files too. So to test it, let's open a new file, plain, no, make a cube, node tools, subtool, SudD node tool, and it's there. Is it also in edit mode? Yes. So now we have the file where it should be. If you like to be organized and have all your assets in one file, you have to append the asset from your working file to the library file. So it happens like this, append, and let's go to node tree, I think, SudD node tool, append. Yep. And I don't know how can we see it. Oop, 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 oop. Okay, it's here, and then we can save this file to our library. In my opinion, this is not a very good workflow, too many steps, and I use myself this kind of add-on which it's not published yet, which is a bit unlucky situation, but with this I can just use one click and save it. But I will try to inform everywhere on my Twitter, X and whatever when this one gets published, because it's just genial. To make this tool even better, I want to add one feature to it. I want it to behave like when I have nothing selected, it will subdivide all. It's if you are old Modo user, you know how nice this feature is. So to make that happen, we need some simple logic. I'll split the screen and go here so I can easily get my selection. So it's easier to test. And let's add the logic. First thing we want to know is if there's selection, and that we can find with field min max node. So let's plug selection there and compare maximum to something equal. Let's both be integer and we have to plug it in again. If max is equal to 0, then we don't have selection, because if there's even one selected, the max is 1. And then we switch something. Let's take boolean and drive this switch with that result, and let's output like this. Let's see what's happening. I don't know. I think it just doesn't select anything. But if this is true, then it should. Yes, now when there's nothing selected, it selects everything, subdivides everything. So 0 and 1 is misaligned 0 and 1. And to make it work correct, we can plug our selection there. Let's move it here. That looks better. And now I think it should work. Yes. We have misaligned 0 selected. We have that misaligned, and then we have both. And let's try out what it does when we have tool. Let's take that tool, and we have this, and we are in edit mode, and hit yes. Now it subdivides everything even when we don't have selection, but now it subdivides only this selection. So that's all for this time. Check out my Patreon. I will upload this file there, so you can get the tool for free if you don't want to. Not for free, but for my subscription price, if you are too lazy to make it yourself. And I also include this hammer scene there, so I don't know why, but you can get it too. So bye, see you.